Whether it makes you laugh, cry, scream, or fly, there's a song for every emotion. We're Mike and Priya, and we talk about the songs that make up the soundtrack to your life. Because life is in the lyrics, eh?
Hey! Hello, little listeners, and welcome to our Canada Day episode.
Yes, and because in improv, we always say yes, and. Yes, and we have listener email to read out.
Da, 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 da.
That is correct. Okay, so here is our lovely little listener email. I'm still catching up on the podcast. Well, what are you waiting for? But I was thinking you should do an episode on cover songs. CBC was just playing Aretha Franklin's great version of Adele's Rolling in the Deep. And have you done a Songs of the Summer episode yet? Keep up the great work. I think that is a fantastic email.
I love that. I love
Thank
that. Keep up
you.
the great work. It's very encouraging.
Yeah, thank you to our little listener. Who did that come from, Mike?
I don't know. I think it was anonymous.
I mean,
Did they ask for themselves to be anonymous?
they did not. They did sign their name. This was signed by Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah. Do you know any Dawns?
D-A-W-N or D-O-N?
I mean, we've all hopefully seen the Dawn, but no, D-O-N. Do you know any Dawns?
I do, yes.
Okay, maybe it's somebody you know.
It might be.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'll have to ask him and see.
Thank you, Dawn. It was a great idea, and I definitely think we need to do both of those. Love the Songs of the Summer. We should get that on that quickly.
Actually, that's a really good segue because this new feature of ours in our podcast, my song is a summer song.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it a new song?
it's relatively new.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
so
see. Let's see if
do you-
I've heard it.
Okay, all right, here we
Okay,
go.
guys, we will BRB. That's be right back for the non.
Or BYOB.
That was last night.
do 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 do.
All right. So
Okay,
what did you
Mike.
think of that?
I love that song. I have heard that song before.
Okay.
So tell everybody what we just listened to.
We just listened to Dean Brody's Canadian Summer.
Okay, and when did that come out?
That came out in 2020. So
Okay.
it's not a new song.
No.
But it was fairly new to me.
Okay.
And we did that episode with Conrad a couple of weeks ago about country. And then with this being our Canadian episode,
Yeah.
our Canada Day episode,
good
I thought it
tie-in.
was just so perfect.
It really is. And it is a very Canadian song.
It is. Yes.
So many Canadian references. The hip, Muskoka,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. It's
Blue Rodeo.
Blue Rodeo.
Ice Cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was all kinds of
Oh,
Canadian
I
references.
love it. It's
really
a great
good.
song. It's a
Yeah.
really fun song. And that's going to go on my summer playlist. Faux show.
Faux shizzle. Yes.
Faux shizzle.
So,
Good selection.
Yeah, and it also, given that we got that letter from Don,
Yeah.
he said "Songs of Summer."
That's
That
right.
is-
there you go.
That's
Oh,
a
it
song,
hits a
summer
lot. It
song.
hits a lot. It hits a lot of what do you mean? It hits a lot of points.
It does.
It's,
Yeah. If you could just, listeners, if you could just see Priya right now, she's got her arms going all over the place. She's
It's like it hits
she's
there
trying
and there
not
and
to
there.
hit the mic.
No, I'm
arm.
trying so hard. I get in so much trouble when I touch that mic stand.
It's true. Yeah. So
Oh, that's a great
interesting segue, and that totally worked.
I loved it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so guys, listen to that song, Canadian Summer, by, once again,
Dean Brody,
Dean Brody.
Canadian country artist.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully that'll be on the Instagram music selection because then I'll use that
Yeah.
for the reel.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Okay.
I love songs that sing about Canada and just make you feel so proud.
I know.
Yeah.
it is great.
Good vibes, good
it's,
vibes.
This episode is all Canadiana.
That is correctamundo.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, Mike, how's your week been before we get into the nitty gritties?
Well, Reva was sick.
Yeah.
Spent some time in the hospital with her, the pet hospital emergency.
Poor baby.
Yeah. And it's weird because of the 4.5 years that we've had her,
Mm-hmm.
3 of the 4 summers, she's been sick at the same time of year.
With the same issue?
Very similar issue. The last time she was sick in 2023, it was exactly the same.
Right.
So I won't get into the disgusting
No, it
details.
is disgusting. They're
but,
disgusting. Bloody disgusting. But when I came in today, I was like, oh, poor Reva. And she just bounded to the door,
Yes.
her usual self, which
Yeah.
is what we want to see.
She bounced back. She definitely bounced back.
Definitely bounced and hopped her way back.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
kind of stressful this week. And so can't say got a lot of sleep, kind of some restless nights and worry, of course.
Because she had to stay at the hospital?
Yeah, she stayed overnight
Was
for
she
2
on
nights.
IV fluids or something?
Yeah,
Poor
and
thing.
medication and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she was quite dehydrated.
Was she so happy when you guys picked her up?
Dawn went to pick her up, and I think I'm sure she was happy, but I
Yeah.
think she was also like, she was quite lethargic and,
Yeah.
sad.
I just saw this reel on Instagram
Mhm.
of dogs greeting their people coming
Oh,
home after
yeah.
like months or years away.
Yeah, those are.
I was going to send it to you, but then I remember last night you made a comment about Priya spends all her time. She doesn't do social media. She just spends all her time looking at dog videos. I was like,
Well-
and cat. and
Okay,
any kind
well,
of animal.
let's tap into that one there. Let's
Okay.
go back. Why did I say that yesterday? We saw each other. What did we see each other for?
We saw each other for my housewarming. It should have been a
Yes.
house heating party because it was quite warm
It
yesterday.
was. Yeah. Do you have air conditioning?
We do.
Oh, but you didn't have it on, obviously, because
We
you had all
didn't.
your windows open.
That's why, because we knew people would be coming in and out. I
Yeah.
didn't. There's no point in keeping the aircon on.
Have you had it on at all?
We turned it on after, like, we turned it on around 7:00 last night,
Oh, okay.
and then it was on all night. It was very comfortable. Finally,
I know you don't like the cold.
I don't like it to be cold because I don't like coming in from the hot, crazy heat and then going into really cold.
Yeah,
like
freezing,
my
yeah.
body doesn't react well to that, and then I get a cold, and I
What
don't
happens
want
to
to
your
get a
body? You get a cold.
cold. It goes crazy. Yeah.
You get the shiver.
Well, yeah, a little bit of shivers, and then lots of goosebumps.
Dun, dun, dun,
What's that? What's happening?
dun. What's that Ed Sheeran song?
Oh,
Shivers.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it
I
gives
was
me
trying
that.
to sing that, but
But you just did the
I just
beginning
did
of it,
bad
and not
version.
the actual.
yeah.
verse.
So
Okay.
you had your
I
housewarming,
had my housewarming party yesterday.
and I came,
Yes, you did come
their housewarming.
Yes, thank you.
and who was there
And
when
who was
I
there?
arrived?
Dana.
No, Katie.
Oh, Katie.
Katie was there
Yes.
when I arrived. I was like,
It was-
hey.
It was kind of a mini podcast reunion.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Because 3 of our previous guests were there yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, who you will remember from our one of our earlier episodes, actually.
Yeah, it was
where,
in the fall.
Yeah, it was.
It was a
wow.
two-parter.
It was a two-parter when we did two-parters because we didn't know how to shut the fuck up. And she was talking
No
about
offense,
her.
Katie.
No,
We're not talking about you.
we didn't know how to. She was great and concise. She was talking about music and the role it plays in her artistic process. And then we
You're
had
just gonna, listeners, if you haven't heard it, you're just gonna have to go
You're
back
just
to the
gonna have to
catalog
listen to
and
it.
listen to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had Dana,
Yes.
who was more recently on our episode about opera.
Yes.
She did not feel we promoted that episode properly.
Right. Which is where the Instagram comes in.
Yes, because then she said, "You guys didn't even promote that," and then Mike's. I don't remember what you said.
I was like, we didn't? I'm sure we posted.
Yeah.
We did our one post about that. And she said, well, I posted and I tagged you guys and you didn't accept my
I
tag
did
or
not see
something.
a tag. I did not see any tags.
I know. But then what did we end up saying?
We
You and I
hate
are hopeless with social
yeah,
media.
Yeah,
Except for when
when we're watching dog videos,
dog videos that you
Dog.
send me.
and cat and animal videos.
Yeah.
But mostly I send to Mike dog videos.
And who else came?
And then Conrad
The
was
amazing
there.
Conrad.
Yes, from
And he
our
brought a
country
cake.
episode. Oh my God, he did. Now listen, I need to make a statement about this, okay?
Okay.
First of all, my very dear friend Danielle, who I live with, we were going to have a joint housewarming party.
Yeah.
But she has a lot of friends who are chefs. All of her
Okay.
friends, many of her friends work in that industry. And so we were talking about the party and I was like, hey, I'd love to have a Roaring 20s theme. And then we were talking about what should we tell people to bring? And I said, just tell them to bring drinks. And she goes, oh, well, like, what about food? And I said, no, I like to make all the food myself. And then we got into this thing about, well, I can't tell my chef. She said, I can't tell my chef friends not to bring food. And I was like, oh. And then she said, are you going to cook meat for my friends? And I was like, oh, no. And then she said, I think we should have separate housewarming parties, which means basically she is not going to have a housewarming party because she doesn't really do that. And I am very anal about my parties. I like
Oh.
to do all the food
Yeah.
and just let people come and enjoy. You can bring drinks, but I enjoy doing that. And so he said he was going to bring something. I thought he was going to bring cookies, and I was
Conrad.
Conrad. I was already making an exception for like him to bring cookies.
Mm.
And then he shows up with this
Amazing.
beautiful bakery, like boutique bakery worthy cake.
Yeah.
And he did an unveiling and everything.
I have the video. I think we might
Yep,
post it.
we might post it. And it was delicious.
Yes.
And then when we sliced into it, I did say to people, I was like, Leave it to Conrad to upstage me at my own
Oh,
party.
that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, well, it was, I mean, it was a showstopper.
It was better than most of the crap that you had, that's for
Well,
sure.
yeah.
I'm
I just
kidding.
made a stupid pina colada cake with
Nope.
some rum soak, but
I had 3 pieces of that.
did you really?
Well, they're small pieces.
They are small pieces.
I did. When I
good.
went into the kitchen,
Oh, good. You
I went to
watch
wash my hands and then I had one and then I
Good.
rearranged them so it looked like.
because I couldn't tell when anybody took one. Oh my god,
I
that's
know.
so funny.
That's me. You know.
Yeah, it was a beautiful evening. Like, it was a perfect weather-wise. It was a perfect
Yeah.
evening. We sat outside eventually, and it actually got warmer after you left, which was strange because they were saying it was going to rain, and then it didn't rain, and then it sort of did rain for 5 minutes. And anyways, but it was a lovely night. And the last people, it started at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
The last people did not leave until 11:30 p.m.
Ooh.
So I was ready to, like, I was like, party's
She
over.
tired.
Get the fuck out. She tired.
There's this family story. Don's family have
Uh-huh.
this story where when his parents were younger and they were hosting a family dinner
Mm-hmm.
at, I think it was New Year's Eve or Christmas or something. And there were a few stragglers left. And Janet, Don's mom, she just pulled out the vacuum at 2:30 in the morning and started vacuuming around people. And so that was like, okay,
That's the
people
sign.
take the cue.
Yeah.
Like,
Did they
obviously-
take the cue?
I think they did,
Okay.
but this story comes up all the time. I think
Oh,
it's just
Lord.
so funny.
Well, listen, I started cleaning up
Mhm.
probably around like 9:30, just starting to, put some of the food into
Right. Yeah.
containers and just like taking
But people
things inside.
still stayed till 11.
Yeah, well, listen, we were having a lovely time. Then we started we put on some like old school like R&B and hip hop. Then we were playing reggaeton. We were dancing a little bit.
You're
It
playing
was
what?
super fun. Reggaeton.
What's that?
Okay, you need to listen to some reggaeton. But
Oh, reggaeton is a kind of music.
it's a genre of music. Yeah,
Okay.
it's very dancey, vibey. It's like very Caribbean kind of Latin too.
Were
but-
people dancing?
Yeah, we were kind of dancing, kind of like in our seats, and then sort of standing up and dancing a bit. Like, we weren't like, it wasn't an official dance party, but yeah, we were up and out of our seats.
Did you pass the ganja?
Oh yes, we did have a little. We had one joint that we passed around, and
Because
It
you
was a
don't
really
usually
lovely night.
smoke.
No.
Yours is more chocolate.
yeah, I don't like the feeling of it in my throat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like things going down my throat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay,
Because we all know that's not true.
Oh,
Couldn't help myself
ba-dum-bum.
there. But bum.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Okay, let's get on with it. Anything
All
else you
right.
want to talk about that happened in your week?
Oh, I have a couple of days off coming up this week, and I am dying. I can't wait for them. Even though I just came back from vacation,
I know.
but I got 6 days in a row off
Okay,
starting Thursday.
that's good.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Mhm.
can't wait.
And yeah, so
And yesterday, on the day of recording, as Mike likes to say, yesterday was June 21st, and that was summer solstice,
mhm.
which is the longest day of the year. So the days are gradually getting.
don't
only to
no.
say, make the most, squeeze
Yeah.
every drop out of this Canadian summer.
Yes.
Because as we heard in that song,
Canadian summer.
it goes by so fast.
Yeah.
It goes by in a flash.
What
He has a line about it.
it says, he goes, Canadian summer, making plans, holding hands, crushing cans, though Muskoka burns. You blink and it's over.
Yeah, you blink and it's over.
What is it? Muskoka something?
In those Muskoka pines.
In those Muskoka pines. Oh, it doesn't.
Blink and it's
Okay.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drifting campfire nights and the land of the northern sky. Like, there's so many great Canadian
Yeah.
references. I love this song.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on to our July 1st.
Let's do it.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah.
Now,
Uh-huh.
before we do,
Okay.
little lady,
Mm.
I got some Canadian trivia for
Ooh,
you.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have some interesting tidbits too.
Oh,
Let's see if we have any
okay.
crossovers.
All right.
Okay.
I got a couple of Canadian, I got 8 Canadian trivia questions.
Oh, fun.
Let's see how many you get. Okay. What is Canada's national animal? The polar bear,
Uh-huh.
the moose,
Uh-huh.
the beaver,
Uh-huh.
the wolverine.
Okay, I feel like this is a trick question because it should be the beaver because everybody considers it to be the beaver.
Okay.
But what were the others? The moose, the wolverine, and what was the first one?
Polar bear.
Oh, I feel like it might be the moose. What is it?
You're right the first time.
It is the beaver.
The beaver.
A girl
right.
should know.
Mm-hmm. Which famous superhero was co-created by a Canadian? Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
Superman,
Mm.
Spider-Man,
Mm.
Batman.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Superman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the city,
Metropolis?
got,
No,
is it
Gotham City is
Gotham City.
in Batman.
Oh, Gotham. Oh, yeah. Metropolis. Yeah,
Metropolis.
that's that was based on Toronto,
Really?
and it was a Toronto Star writer or something
Okay.
like that. That was the Canadian involved.
That's cool.
Okay. Canada holds the title of hosting the largest single day. Oh, no, I don't like that one. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, but I want to know. Now I just want to hear it at least.
Okay. Canada holds, I don't even know if this one is true because I'm like, Canada holds the title of the largest single day parade. What parade is it? Canada Day Parade, Ottawa, Caribbean Carnival, Caravana, Toronto, St. Patrick's Day Parade, Quebec City, and Calgary Stampede Parade.
Oh, God. I feel like it might be Caravana.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think the Pride Parade has been larger than Caravana.
What, do you mean larger? Was it larger or
Largest
longer?
single day parade.
Largest.
So that's why I didn't want to ask that because
Okay.
it's just. What year was Canada as a country founded? 1865, 1869, 1862, or 1867?
Now, was it the summer of 69? Or, okay.
I was
think it's
born in the summer of
1867.
69. What was that? Sorry?
1867?
You got it right.
Woo! Go Priya, go Priya, go Priya.
Okay. We get to use some sound effects. Okay. This is a good one.
Okay.
Basketball was invented by Canadians. True or false?
True.
Yep. Okay, good. What crops what crops have been planted in Nova Scotia since 1600s? Wild blueberries,
Oh.
baking apples, wine grapes,
Oh.
carrots.
Since when?
1600s.
Oh, my goodness. Because when I was in Nova Scotia last year, they were talking about the Arcadians coming from France and planting grapes.
The Arcadians.
The Acadians. The Acadians. But was that early? Okay, so it was grapes, it was blueberries, it was apples.
And carrots.
Oh, this is a hard one. And I'm going to say blueberries, but I want to say apples.
Wine grapes.
God damn it!
Wine grapes. Really?
Yeah.
I never would have thought that. Okay, and the last one I have is in 2018, the Canadian government changed the words of O Canada. They changed True Patriot Love in All Thy Sons Command
Okay.
to True Patriot Love, So Sings the Marching Band.
Nope.
True Patriot Love in All of Us Command. True Patriot Love with basketballs in hand. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. True Patriot Love all across the land.
No, it was the second one.
True Patriot Love in all of us command.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
No,
Oh.
wrong one. No, wrong one.
Oh, I like that one though.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh my
Where the hell
gosh.
is it?
Yay! Okay.
that
All right.
took a while.
Well, okay. So as we since we're doing kind of trivia, let me give you some facts. Let's see how we can. Okay, I'm going to try and turn some of these into trivia.
Okay.
What Canadian songstress got her break doing comedy on a Canadian sketch show called You Can't Do That on Television? But what Canadian singer got her start doing comedy? And it's somebody you would never think would be funny. Certainly her music
Alanis
show.
Morissette?
Yes.
Huh. Really?
Yeah. Did you only get that because I said you would never think of her being funny?
No, she immediately came to mind because I had this feeling that she was doing other stuff before she was. Okay, you're wearing a t-shirt that has Friends on it.
Yes.
What Friends character was in one of Alanis Morissette's first videos?
Was it Matthew Perry?
No.
Oh, but he's Canadian. That's why I said
I
that.
know. Yeah.
In one of her first videos.
Mhm.
Gosh, I have no character or the actor.
Actor
I have no idea.
Matt LeBlanc.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
She was like a bit of a pop princess in her early
Okay,
days, and
very
he
cool.
played her boyfriend or something like that.
Oh my God, I have to see that video because he was a cutie patootie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Who was the first Canadian first Canadian solo artist to headline a Super Bowl halftime show?
First Canadian solo artist, Shania Twain.
No, The Weeknd.
Really?
So quite recently. That was only, I think, 2 years ago.
Wow.
I know.
Shania Twain never played the Super Bowl?
Apparently not.
I don't know about that one. Let me check and see.
All right.
Super Bowl, Shania Twain. Shania Twain played the Super Bowl halftime show in 2003. I
By
knew
herself?
she did. Yeah, man. Because I remember she was coming down the stairs and she lost her bracelet.
It's very
Fell off.
interesting because let's just.
Oh, hold on. No, that might be right. Because the halftime show also featured No Doubt and Sting.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
I
Yes.
see. Okay.
The first solo Canadian artist. Okay. So we
Okay.
just cut that.
The way I interpreted solo Canadian artist was a solo artist
yes.
versus
The only
the
artist.
only act.
Correct. Okay. So
So we're both right.
we're both right, but I'm more right. Okay. Let's just get that straight.
Okay. All right.
Okay, how do I frame this? Who was the first Canadian to win the Best New Artist Grammy Award?
First Canadian to win the Best New Artist Grammy
At the Grammys.
Award. What year?
I can't tell you that because that will give you a hint.
Oh.
But just imagine, like with all the incredible artists that we've had,
Mhm.
who was the first?
Bryan Adams.
Alessia Cara.
What?
Mhm.
Not Bryan Adams?
Not Bryan Adams.
He had all of those songs. Wait a minute. What was the category?
Best New Artist.
Oh, Best New Artist. Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can see that. Mhm.
I don't know if he won any Grammy Awards.
Oh, he would have had to.
Let's see.
He sang.
One.
Really?
Just one.
Wow. What was it for? Robin
It
Hood
was-
or Prince of Thieves or something.
It was Everything I Do it for
Yeah.
you.
Robin Hood. Everything I do.
I do it for
Uh,
you. I love that song. Actually,
do
that
it
song,
for you.
it kind of was on my list, like with him as an artist. Did you know that he started out with a disco record?
Wow, really?
Yeah, called Let Me Take You Dancing.
Oh my God, I would love to.
I know.
I would love
We're
to
gonna have
hear
to
that.
listen to that.
Yeah.
Okay, but that song, Everything I Do it for you, that was the first sort of cassette tape that like of a single that a boy gave me. It was
I
my
know.
first love. We talked about that before,
We
right?
did, yeah.
I thought it was appropriate to mention it because
Yeah.
we were talking about like the best Canadian artists. Not necessarily the best, but some of our favorite memories and such. Okay, here's another one. This artist had the best-selling album of the 21st century by a Canadian artist. Who was that?
This artist had the best-selling album of a Canadian artist.
Yeah.
Celine Dion?
No, Avril Lavigne.
Oh, of course. Right. Yeah.
Her debut, Let Go. It's the best-selling album
Yeah.
of the 21st century by a Canadian artist. That's
yeah.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, that's kind of all the trivia I have.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have this 7 facts about Canadian musicians that you didn't know.
Okay.
You might have known. How many instruments does Justin Bieber play?
Oh, he plays a lot. I'm gonna say, okay, piano, drums, guitar. What other? I'm gonna say 5.
Okay.
Okay.
What are the 5? Pianos, drum, guitar.
Well, and 2 others.
Okay, he actually plays 4. Piano, drums, guitar, and trumpet.
Trumpet.
Yes.
That's what I played in high school. Oh,
He
That's
played
interesting.
He started guitar lessons when he was 8 and just went from there, obviously YouTube and all the rest of it.
yeah.
This former colleague when I used to work at the YMCA, she was the general manager or CEO of the Stratford Y, and Justin Bieber being from Stratford, he always used to hang out at the Y.
Okay.
And so she knew him quite well as a kid.
Right.
And she was there for quite some time. And whenever he would come back, he would go to
Aw.
Stratford.
Was he a good
the
kid?
Y.
Like, what was her opinion or?
I think Yeah, I don't remember her ever really saying, but she said he was always there. Like and I worked for the Y for 11 years, and we called them gym or Y rats
Uh-huh.
because there were always a group of kids that would always come to the Y, and they'd be there all the time.
Did he actually work out, or did they just hang out there?
Play
like,
basketball, hang
Right.
out, work out probably when they're older.
He's
It
pretty
depends.
buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know
Uh-huh.
that Drake is not the first musician in his family?
Like, meaning somebody who achieved acclaim as a musician?
His father
Uh-huh.
was a musician.
Okay.
Now, his father, Dennis,
Mm-hmm.
ended up playing with several bands throughout his career, most notably with rock and roll icon Jerry Lee Lewis.
Okay.
And Drake's uncle, Larry, was also a musician who played bass for the legend himself, Prince.
Really?
Yes.
That is cool.
How about that?
That is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Prince, I mean, you know this, but I wonder if all our little listeners know that he had a home in Toronto.
That's right.
Yeah, he lived here. He would sometimes pop up and do like surprise shows and stuff, which is super cool. Oh, do you know who this is not a Canadian artist, but they're apparently just last week.
Only Canadian today, lady.
Sean Desmond, is he Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh, he did a surprise performance in the subway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's Canadian. Great. I was like, is he?
Yeah,
he Canadian?
Sean Desmond's.
Yeah.
He's Canadian.
That was kinda
great.
cool, too.
Keeping that in.
We're keeping that in. We're not cutting that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? What other? You got some more stuff over there.
Okay, I got another one. Neil Young
Mhm.
shared an apartment with Rick James in Toronto. How's that for odd?
That is a very odd pairing. Is
Yes.
Rick James Canadian?
In the 66. No, Rick James isn't Canadian.
So then, what
But
was he?
I guess he was here in the music scene, in the hippie scene in
Okay.
Yorkville, right?
Right.
And this article says, although Neil has a hard time remembering the hazy time spent together all those years later, it's crazy to think how these two solo artists who had such huge impact on the music industry lived together at one time.
Right. That is a very odd couple, shall we say.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What else you got? What else you got
That's
over
it.
there? Okay.
That's all I got.
I was just looking online for information about this podcast, and so I saw this amazing article by Rolling Stone on the 50 greatest Canadian artists of all time. And the title is Great White North. Sorry, Nickelback. Here are the 50 greatest Canadian artists of all time. A little bit of hate on poor Nickelback, but I do want to give them a shout out because they are the most successful rock band.
Yeah.
They're incredible. They get so much hate, but
We've talked about that too.
I
I
know.
don't understand why
I
people
don't
hate
understand
them
it
so
either.
much. Yeah.
because their music all sounds the same.
I don't think you end up like this.
Yeah.
Well,
They had a
we
great song,
end up-
Hero, that
Yeah.
was in one of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that song. Hero will take us, something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't mind their music.
Yeah.
And
You know what? This is totally reminding me that on an episode where we talked about this before, I was like, oh, yeah, and there's a documentary coming out, or a documentary came out about them at TIFF.
Okay.
I'm going to totally watch it. I haven't watched it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
we
have to
say a
watch
lot
it.
of stuff on the podcast.
It's
you
true.
always say, okay, I'm going to give it a listen, and you never do.
Yeah, I know. Haven't listened to, what's his face?
Joe Jonas.
No.
No. I know. You have a real hate on for him. And
It's not really a hate on.
It
I
seems
just
like it.
don't. Yeah, we
yeah.
don't need to go down that.
We
Let's stick
don't.
with
Okay,
Canadiana.
okay, fine. Yeah.
Remember that episode,
Oh, Canada. I just
Yeah.
had to thump my heart and it hurt. Okay.
the episode about opera,
Yes.
O Canada?
Mm-hmm.
The start of O Canada comes from
Yes. It comes from the something of the Valkyries. The Flight of the Valkyries?
Flight of Valkyries. Yeah.
Right. Very cool.
Mhm.
Okay. So in this,
This
article,
episode's just going to be a bunch of trivia.
It's
Oh,
just
you know
me.
what else I know? Random shit we know about Canada.
well, okay, we can talk also about some of our favorite artists, but I just think like looking at this list of 50 artists was kind of an eye opener for me because the people I thought would be on the top were not on the top. So let's say, why don't you guess some of the top 5?
Top 5 Canadian artists. Whose list is this?
Rolling Stones. And it
Okay.
is the 50 greatest.
Oh, greatest.
Canadian artists
okay.
of all time.
Neil Young,
Okay.
Burton Cummings,
Mhm.
Bachman Turner Overdrive or something like that. One of those.
Okay.
No, that might be, Burton Cummings, I
Okay.
think. Bachman, something. Andy Bachman or Randy Bachman. Randy
I think you're
Bachman.
thinking. Okay.
Canadian artists. Who else?
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I can't imagine any of the more recent, like The Weeknd and
Okay.
Justin Bieber or anything like that are on there. Yeah.
Okay. So from 5 down,
Mhm.
I mean 5 up, Drake was number 5.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Leonard Cohen at number 4.
Leonard Cohen. Yes.
could you forget
of
him?
course. Yes.
The only band.
Oh, and oh God, what's her
Who?
name?
I know who you're thinking.
Oh God.
Number,
Joni Mitchell.
Yes.
Joni Mitchell. Yeah.
Number 3 was Rush.
Oh, huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Number 2, Neil Young, as
Yeah,
you did
okay.
get correctly. And number 1, Joni
Joni
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Right.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah, yeah.
Really interesting because looking at the list, first
Leonard
of all,
Cohen. How the fuck?
how
did
do
I
you
forget
forget him, right? Like,
Jesus.
well, there's just so many, especially like in the 70s. There were some extremely influential artists, but all the other people that you mentioned were on the list, like
Mhm.
The Weeknd and Bieber and all of them, but further down. So some of the other people on that list were, of course, let's think Canada's songstress,
Celine.
Celine, who released 8 successful French albums before learning to speak the English and becoming an international superstar. Carly Rae Jepsen, who
Oh.
you really love. You're going to love this. She was at number 14,
Wow.
above Shawn Mendes,
Yeah.
above Alessia Cara, above Justin Bieber.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
I thought that was really interesting. So I definitely have to listen to her music.
I'm telling you, she
I
does
know.
not get. I mean, she does in this article. She's getting the dues she deserves, but she
doesn't
should be a massive,
Right.
massive
Crazy.
Taylor Swift level star.
So then I just thought I would read some of the things that they were saying about different people. Well, we've talked about some of them already. So the ones that I have. With Shawn Mendes, they said he is well-liked, well-spoken, and well-accomplished. Well, there's nothing more Canadian than that. What a great quote about him. For Bieber, they said, Bieber's openness about his medical issues, including depression and Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, has also made him a standard bearer for pop transparency and someone who's made people suffering from similar maladies feel less alone. That was kind of a nice thing to say about him.
Yeah, I wonder how true that is. I mean, I'm sure there's some truth there, but I guess I hadn't really noticed that he talked a lot about his.
He does, because he quit his tour.
Yeah,
He quit his most recent tour to deal with some mental health issues,
Yeah.
and he lost millions.
right. Yeah,
Millions on that.
yeah.
So there's been talk about how Justin Bieber's almost bankrupt and this and that and this and that. I mean, it's fine. His wife just sold her makeup line for like $2 billion or something, or $1 billion. They're doing okay, people. Do not worry. Bieber is doing okay.
No, but financial wise, yeah, but it's. I
know.
just think it's so sad that
Yeah.
somebody who's talking about their mental health struggles and make some life choices that, take them out of the public eye, end up getting crucified for it.
I know.
Right? Like it just seems like they're constantly following him around and finding ways to knock him down.
And just
It's
on
so
him all the
weird.
time. You see videos now that they've posted, like different, I guess people have captured. I don't know if it's a paparazzi who posts these videos, but him saying, you guys are just bloodsuckers. All you care about is money. And it's, so he comes across as a ranting, raving, madman. But it's like, yeah, you guys, he's just out for a friggin' ice cream, or he's out with his family, with his kid on a walk. Like, leave the guy alone. Like, he's not even really making music right now.
Yeah. But do you think that, like, usually when there are photos posted of him when he's out and about, he's wearing some really strange outfits?
Yeah, but strange to whom? To you?
Yeah. It just seems attention grabby.
Okay.
Like, if you're trying to, it's weird, right? Because it's like, you just want to live your life and go out and do what you want to do. And yet you are wearing outfits that don't blend you in.
Right. Well,
not that he shouldn't be entitled to do that, but if you're a superstar who's being hounded by the paparazzi,
yes,
I just think.
I mean, he wears
it's
a lot
weird.
of really baggy, like hoodies and, like bandanas and just like, I don't know. I don't know that there's anything. I'm looking at a bunch of recent pictures of him. I don't see anything that's too.
Okay, I could
I
be
don't
wrong.
know. But
And I'm not blaming or shaming. I'm just saying I think they're like it's interesting all these different
Yeah.
elements
Maybe
related
it's-
to it.
maybe it's part of like a way of saying like fucking leave me alone, or maybe it's I don't know. I don't know. It is very sad though. Like he cannot just live his life. He just is not given that freedom. And then our little Shawn Mendes, who I'm very
Or
excited
little.
about.
He's like 6'2" or something.
I know, but he still seems like a kid to me. You know, how old is he? Like
He's
25?
One sexy man.
He is a very sexy man. He is what? How old? He can't be
28?
He can't be 30 yet.
He's got to be approaching
He's
30.
26. He's 26.
He's only 26?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
He's just a sweet little guy. And again, like he retreated from music for like probably a good 2 years, kind of in the midst of COVID and then leading out of it, and came back now with an album that is a very personal album. And I really, really, really love this album. I really do.
And he quit for mental health reasons
Yeah.
as well, right?
Yeah. I just think it's very brave of them, to be at the height of their careers and to say, I gotta take a break.
Right.
And I think it's good for people to see that you do have that option. Because that machine, man, when that machine is going and people are making so much money off of your blood, sweat, and tears, they don't want you to stop. They don't care.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right? And it's so hard
Well,
to
just
watch.
think about that pressure
Yeah.
to also be like, okay, well, I need to make a decision about me, but it's going to have a ripple effect that's going
Right.
to impact this massive machine, right?
And all the people who work for me and are employed by me, it's got to be a huge responsibility. Not one I would want.
Nope.
But then nobody's calling me to be fun anyways, whatever. Okay.
They haven't caught on to your talent
Not
yet.
yet. Not
No,
yet.
not yet. You
Okay.
could be the next.
So I could be the next what? Which artist would you liken me to?
I'm just wondering what female artists started their careers later in life?
Oh, I mean, this late? Nobody. I don't know if that anybody of them started later.
Don't know, but
No.
you could be the first. You could be the trailblazer.
Trendsetter? Trailblazer. Okay.
Trailblazer. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go for, guys.
What's your music name going to be? What's your professional name?
My music name? I mean, I kind of think I have a pretty good, maybe it would be like, I think it would still be Priya Rao, but it would be like Priya Rao.
How many? Oh, no, Jesus. If you were to Google Priya Rao, how many of
There
them
are
would
a
show
lot.
up? Yeah.
There are a
so you
lot.
got to
I
have
don't like
something a
it.
little more unique. Otherwise, every South Asian
Yeah.
woman named Priya Rao is going to be stealing your thunder.
I know. I'm gonna
You
have to
think about that and
I'm
come
gonna
up
think
with
about
it.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I wanted to say one thing about Nelly Furtado, who was on that list.
yes.
So when her song "I'm Like a Bird,"
I'm like a bird, only fly away. She used to live in this hood.
did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I believe that because she's Portuguese, right?
Yep.
When her song came out, I was like an intern at CTV on Entertainment Tonight Canada. I was actually interning for Carla Collins,
Oh, yes.
who's a comedian and one of the hosts of, I think
What happened to her?
she moved to LA
Oh,
and pursued her career there. Yeah.
right.
And I don't know where it went. But while she was here and I was interning for her, I got to see
She got some bad plastic surgery, I remember.
most people have.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Those LA life people, their plastic surgery.
You know, I guess if you don't go to the right surgeon, even if you say, I want it to look natural, there's nothing you can do once it's done.
Yeah. And I think it's also when you're in a place like LA
Yeah.
and everybody looks like that, or not
Yeah.
everybody, but there's a lot of people that look that
Uh-huh.
way.
Hmm.
You
Like-
it's the norm.
Right. I mean, we were talking about Friends earlier, and Monica, what is her name?
Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox has been quite open about how she was like, eventually she was like, oh my God, is that how I look?
Mm-hmm.
And then she tried to get some of the fillers and stuff removed or some of the reversals. You got to think about that shit carefully before you do it. I mean, we talked about Pete Davidson getting all his tats removed,
Right.
and that cannot be a pleasant
No.
experience.
No.
Also, getting all those tattoos in the first place, probably wasn't a very pleasant experience. So, anyway,
Do you think tattoos are sexy?
I do, but
Yeah?
not when the body is completely covered by them. And I'm not a big fan of like
The neck and everything.
neck and face tattoos.
See, I think like
I like it when it's like when the clothes are coming off and it's like a surprise. It's like, ooh, that's
ooh,
sexy.
look at that. Yeah.
But yeah,
So you were saying,
I was saying about Nelly Furtado. So
Yeah.
I was interning at CTV, and they had this video of this new artist, right? And it was Nelly Furtado singing her song on
word.
some show or in some small concert. And I was supposed to like transcribe the interview with her. And I just remember listening to the song and watching her and thinking like, wow, such a different sound. Like nobody sounded like that. Nobody had music that was quite like that. And I loved how just unique it was and how very just kind of happy and positive it was. And then I wasn't really a fan of her turn into like promiscuous girl.
yeah,
I
she's
hated
a man
Yeah.
eater, make
I
you
didn't
work
like it.
hard, make you sweat hard, make you
Yeah.
for love. That was a great CD. I love that album.
I don't like it. I liked Forca or Forza.
Oh,
song.
yeah, yeah.
That song was on my workout.
Yeah, that's
playlist.
Ooh, that's a really good one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add
It's
that.
a great.
Yeah,
Oh, the beat
Do I
on
have
that,
that on my-
and it
yeah.
builds to a fantastic climax too.
love a good climax.
Love a good climax. Who would you say are some of your favorite Canadian artists?
Hold on, I have to find Nelly Furtado. Nelly, shit. See, here's a problem that I have with my music catalog.
Okay.
I don't subscribe to Apple or anything like
Right.
that. So I buy albums
Okay.
through Apple Music,
Okay.
but I also before that I have all these CDs.
Mhm.
And so when we have these conversations and I think about it, I'm prompted to and reminded about, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to put that on. It's a CD somewhere in a box
Right.
and I'm going to have to get it
Yeah.
and then figure out how to download it and then put it
That's
back
right.
on.
Do you not have a laptop that has a CD
I do,
drive?
yeah.
Oh.
I have an old Apple that I'm going to have
Okay.
to
Well, then
pull
that's
out.
not so hard, is it?
No, but it's just, yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. I
Yeah.
know.
Anyways, who are some of my favorites?
Mm-hmm.
Spirit of the West.
Oh,
Love that band.
okay.
You'll have to excuse me. I'm not at my best.
Oh, I
I've
love
been gone for a month. I've been drunk since I left. Lowest of the Low.
Okay. You're coming up with some.
Do you remember Lowest of the Low?
I remember the name, but sing me a song.
Oh God, hold on a second. I got Home for a Rest on my brain.
Excuse me.
Okay, so everything's coming up rosy and gray. Oh, the wind is cold, but the smell of snow warms us today.
Don't know
Your
it.
smile is fine, and it's just like mine, and it won't go away.
Oh, boy.
Because everything is rosy and gray.
And who is that?
Lowest of the Low.
Okay. I mean, I know the artist. I mean, I know that band, but that song is not familiar to me at all.
Shakespeare My Butt, that CD was on repeat.
Okay.
Like you would not believe. My roommate, Marcia,
Mm-hmm.
we worked together at this bar and we basically, we didn't run the place, but we were like
You
the bar.
basically
Yeah,
ran
we
it.
were
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we would always have that album on and Spirit of the West. And so they were on repeat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I hear Lowest of the Low, it totally
Takes you
takes me
back.
back to that. And it takes me back to living with Marcia because she was like, we were amazing roommates and we had a great time. And that was just like a pivotal time in
Okay,
my
so
life.
talking about like songs that take you back, when Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On"
Oh,
when
yeah.
that came out, God, how long ago was that?
That was the Titanic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that song came out in 1997. Holy crap, that was 30 years ago.
1997. Oh, God.
That was 30 years ago almost.
Almost. Yeah.
Oh boy. So I remember I was in India. I was in New Delhi. The family was there with my dad, and he had some people over, some guests over. One of which was from MTV India. He was
Oh.
kind of a producer there, right? So my dad was like, yeah, sing a song for him. Oh my God! And listen, back
Would your
then,
dad think that you were going to end up on MTV India?
we were both hoping. We were both
Oh,
hoping.
yeah.
I was like, this is it. This is my
That could have
big
been your
chance.
Priya
This is
Rao.
my break. Yeah. It could have been my break 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting. Also, still waiting for my chest to develop.
Oh, don't say that.
And neither of these
The
things.
chest is fine.
Well, you know, it's
Gorgeous.
Still, thank you.
Love the
but
girls.
love my little babies. Anyway, so I sang this song, and
That's a very difficult song to sing, isn't it?
yeah, it is. And I was not up to the task. I don't know why I sang it. I was put on the spot,
Yeah.
and I was just like searching in my head for a
How
song.
old were you?
Well, 30 years ago, so I would have been 23.
Oh, Jesus.
23. And let me tell you, back then, I was not the
Looker
person
you
I
are
am.
now.
I was not the, like, I did not have the chutzpah I have now. So I was just like,
Really? I can't imagine you without.
near, far,
Oh, no.
wherever. Like, I was just very meek and mild. And I was like, this is it. This is
Okay,
my
so
moment.
how would you sing it now? Now that you've got all the chutzpah.
I'd thump my chest. I'd be like out there. I'd be near, far, wherever you are. Maybe I'd give it my own spin. I believe that. But you know what? Actually, I could not sing this song now without being melodramatic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's
of
no way to
course.
sing this song straight.
Yeah.
Just like, and at the party yesterday, we were talking about this. It is impossible to talk to animals in a normal
Oh,
voice.
no, it's so, yeah, it's so true.
Very hard.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could sing this song without
Yeah.
over exaggerating and trying to
Mm-hmm.
Selenify it, you know?
We'll stay forever this way. You are safe in my heart and
My heart will
go on and
on. See? It's impossible.
It's true.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I remember Marsha got the what was that album? Celine Dion. I think it's all coming back to me now. That CD. She got that. And I remember her coming home with it and she listened to it. And within like a day, she was like, she gave it to me and she goes, I can't do this. I can't
Oh
do
my God.
this."
I love
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
that song.
There
is-
were nights when the wind was so cold.
But then she brings it down.
In bed if I just listen. When I first heard that, I was thinking, this is a perfect.
Meatloaf song. Don't you think? Did he sing on that?
Oh, I bet you it's written by the same person.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like his
Yeah, it does.
type of melodrama.
Like that
She
theater
goes
drama.
big and then she pulls it back. And
Yeah.
she's so intimate. When
Yeah.
she sings. Oh, I love that song. Yeah. That was just a memory that came back to me.
Did it all come back to you now?
It came back to me right now. Ah, nice call. Yeah.
Well done.
Uh-huh.
All right, what else have you got? Who are some of your other Canadian fave bands? Or
Well,
who are some of yours? Because I
okay.
just did mine.
So I have to say Bryan Adams is definitely
Oh,
a favorite.
yeah. Mhm.
Because he's a very, and he's summer for me too. Like
Yeah,
his
yeah.
songs just sound so summery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if there are any songs of his that would make me not think of summer.
Right. Well,
And-
and is that also because Summer of 69 was.
Well, Summer of 69,
Yeah.
that song is definitely one of my
and then
karaoke
Everything I
go-tos.
Do, that was a
Yes.
summer movie.
It's a summer movie.
Because that was like big blockbuster
Yes,
movie.
and then the song Heaven.
Oh, God,
When did-
yes.
Yeah, like that was in a,
I was around 15 or 16.
I love that song. That was in a movie too, wasn't it? Thinking about.
Oh, young he is. There was only you.
It
and
was
me.
in a movie, A Night in Heaven, although don't know that movie.
Is that how heaven goes? No. No, nothing can take you away from me. We've been down the road.
I'm older now, keep coming back for more.
Baby, you're all that I want.
When
When
I'm
you're
lying here in your arms,
Finding it hard to believe we're in heaven. Okay. Why am I thinking heaven? Okay. No, that's good. Yeah.
Yes, that song actually. Another. So my most recent ex, when he had to go back home to Newfoundland after we had just sort of started our relationship, he used to tell me that song he would think of me and play that song
Aw.
when he was like working and stuff because it would remind him of us. I know, it's so sweet. So I have a lot of ties to Bryan Adams and just his music and seeing him perform at the amphitheater, which I've talked about.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think I said this at that time in that episode too, that he mentioned before he started performing, he was like, this is the first, I believe he was the first artist to perform at the amphitheater.
Oh, wow.
So he said that he was walking around before it started filling up and just remembering that. And that was so cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he
I got
just-
goosebumps
I
with that
know,
story. That's
he's
a good
just
one.
so Canadian and so
Yeah.
so summer to me. And,
Mhm.
yeah, I love him. Who else? Shania
Right.
as a country, like breakout country pop.
Let's go, girls.
Yeah, that don't impress me much.
dun.
And her music was just so
Come on.
fun and cheesy and
Mhm.
like
Oh,
silly.
super cheesy.
Whose bed have your boots been under?
Whose heart did you steal? I wonder.
This time did it feel like thunder, baby?
And who can you turn to?
Mhm. Like her music, just so boppy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's so many. I mean, obviously Shawn Mendes, obviously the
Mhm.
Biebs, Alessia Cara, I love, love, love. Sarah McLachlan, we've talked about. We actually,
Right,
we were going to do a whole episode on
right.
Lilith Fair.
We were,
And
then
we did
we
not.
kiboshed that
Because we
one.
were like,
we,
crickets.
we,
It was like,
we were like,
okay, let's cut that episode.
cut that. Yeah.
But
No
she
offense,
was-
Sarah.
None,
But,
none at all.
yeah.
And she was very influential, and she was one of the first females to talk about the stupid hypocrisy of radio, like music and radio stations not playing female artists back to
Right,
back. So it
right.
wasn't just in country music that was an issue.
Hmm.
And Avril Lavigne, I grew up with her, so she was a big one. There are so many artists some of these that I just didn't even know were Canadian, like
Like
the New
who?
Pornographers.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know they were Canadian.
Yeah.
Tegan and Sarah, I don't really
Oh,
think I knew
love
that they
Tegan
were
and Sarah.
Canadian.
Yes.
They're high on the list. They're at number 13.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So, oh, wow. Tegan, Sarah, and then Carly Rae Jepsen?
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. So it goes, let's just go so at 14, Carly Rae Jepsen. 13, Tegan and Sarah. 12, Arcade Fire.
Oh, yeah. Got
11,
them.
Gordon Lightfoot, who I would have thought would be higher on the list.
Right. Yeah.
10, Celine. 9, Alanis. 8, The Weeknd. Now we're getting into more modern territory. 7, Shania. 6, The Band,
Oh,
which
yeah,
many people think
course.
of as being American,
Mhm.
but 4 of their members were Canadian. And then the top 5 that we've already mentioned.
Right,
Drake,
right.
Leonard Cohen, The Rush, which I thought was interesting.
Mhm.
Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, our
Yeah.
songstress, who, was extremely influential. So, and also very Canadian, still maintained her very Canadian roots in her music.
Right. Well, of those, I
Mhm.
think about 6 of them I have
As your-
in my Apple Music.
Really?
Yeah, that I have albums and CDs or
Okay.
whatever.
Who?
Yeah.
Who of the older artists do you have?
I have some Leonard Cohen.
Okay.
I have Joni Mitchell, of
Obviously,
course.
Yeah. you got to.
I don't have any Neil Young. I'm not a big Neil
Right.
Young fan.
His voice is a very,
Hmm.
you either love it or you don't love it.
Hmm. But I have Arcade Fire.
Mhm.
I have Shania Twain.
Right?
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Okay.
The Weeknd. And who else was there? I have
Um,
Drake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That shocks me.
I got a lot of Canadiana.
Okay.
You know, Dawn and I listen to the CBC in the morning
Mhm.
when we're having coffee, like first thing in the morning, we listen to CBC. And I have gotten so much new music from listening to them because they often will play music that you haven't heard. It's not on regular
And
rotation.
is it always Canadian?
A lot of it is
Okay,
Canadian
I love
because
that.
it's CanCon.
Yeah,
right?
obviously. Yeah.
And so usually I'll like, oh, what was that? And then I
Mhm.
what Shazam it,
Right.
and then I download the.
I like that. I'm going to have to start listening to that. Sometimes I listen to jazz and music, but I don't usually listen to the radio, like with
Oh, yeah, yeah,
DJs and stuff
yeah.
talking. But if you can get new music from that, because I have realized that I don't really go out and discover music.
No.
Because I am in my car a lot and I do listen to the radio at home, but that's mostly news talk radio. I get all my music from the radio.
Hmm.
The good thing is that I do have like a bunch of different types of stations I listen
Right.
to, as we've talked about before. So I listen to a lot of new music, but it's all quote unquote mainstream.
Right.
I would like to go and discover more music, I think. So I'll
Do
have to
it.
start
Go
listening to
discover
that.
it. Okay. And so,
Yeah, I got something very controversial to say
okay.
as we wrap up. I'm not a Tragically Hip fan.
Oh, Mm-hmm.
When you talked about Neil Young and
Do I
his
have
voice,
that? I don't think I have that.
I am not a fan of their sound of Gord Downey's voice.
I'm not either. I've never been a Tragically Hip kind of person. There's one song that I really liked that I can't remember.
Is it
But
not
what?
Bob
No.
Cajun?
No, God.
I know that's so overplayed.
Yeah, I know. I know the people that I know that are hip fans.
Yeah.
They're, they are.
Incredibly loyal.
They are.
Yes.
Yes. And I appreciate their appreciation.
More power to them.
It's just not my cup of tea.
I just can't get into it. But I have so much respect for Gord Downey as a human being,
Mhm.
and just what he did with his last years after he was diagnosed with
You're like,
brain cancer.
but I have so much respect
I
for Gordon.
know,
Yeah.
I do. But I just cannot get turned on to their music. Bare Naked Ladies is another one. Their sound was just too
Oh, really?
pop cheesy. Like it was just
Yeah,
too
it's very cheesy.
for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
I sing along when I hear it, but I don't really love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lying in bed.
Just like Brian Wilson did.
There's
Because-
somebody that we know.
Mm-hmm.
He used to say this line. Lying in bed, giving Brian Wilson.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Who
Yeah.
used to say? Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that offline, as they
Mhm.
say. So I would love to know some of our little listeners' favorite Canadian artists, and maybe
Yes.
there are people that we haven't even mentioned.
Oh God, there's probably tons that we haven't mentioned for sure.
Because even as we've gone through this, you've mentioned artists that I was like, fucking right, I forgot about them.
Fucking right.
Fucking A, man. Let's give her, folks. Tell us your favorite Canadian artist, eh? And let's
Hey,
let's get fucked up beyond all recognition. Let's foobar this shit.
Fubar, swam, swam.
Oh my God. God love Canada. We make some incredible artists from all genres. of art.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? As we sign off, I want to highlight one Canadian artist that is not on a, that level, but he is an internationally renowned artist. His name is Emmanuel Jal.
Mm-hmm.
He is a South Sudanese Canadian musician, former child soldier turned political
Oh
activist.
wow.
His story is incredible. I interviewed him years ago, pre-COVID, I believe, for an article in Grapevine magazine because he was doing a concert out there. He is, so he was a child soldier who eventually got rescued and turned to hip hop. He discovered hip hop and found that the genre harbored incredible power, both spiritual and political. He had a quote that I think kind of summarizes what we're doing with this podcast. He said, "Music is powerful. It is the only thing that can speak into your mind, your heart, and your soul without your permission."
Oh yes.
I think that's very powerful.
That
if you
is,
haven't
yeah.
discovered his music, Emmanuel Jal, Emmanuel, last name Jal, and to see him live is truly like an out of body
Incredible.
experience because he has so much positivity and energy. And I'm always shocked that people who have gone through the most
Heinous.
tortuous, heinous suffering can be the most positive lights
Yeah.
in this world.
Yeah.
So
That's humanity, right?
that's humanity. I
Mhm.
just wanted to give him a shout out because he deserves it and he's incredible.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
All right, little listeners, thank you for listening to this Canada Day episode. And send us in your list of your fave Canadian artists,
Yeah,
Canadian
or just post them on
songs.
Insta when we
Post
post
them.
about this episode.
Hashtag the little podcast.
That's right. That's
And-
LITTL. No, LIITL. One of these days I'll get that right.
LIITL podcast. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much for listening and have a fantastical day.
Yes.
See you next Wednesday.